Welcome, 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 welcome. We are about to delve into one of the most esoteric practices, that is the worship of Devi as Chandi. In this video, I will be detailing for you who is Chandi, what is her archetype, how she can be worshipped, and what you need to know about Chandi and Chandipath. I'll be delving into a lot of history, a lot of mythologies, a lot of storytelling. So I promise it's gonna be a good one. So join now. But before I begin, I have an announcement about a new course that I'm launching for Navratri. You know, Navratri is going to start soon. I will be announcing the exact dates, but the special workshop that I will be offering during Navratri is the worship of Devi as Chandi and Chandipath, which is a long text. So of course the workshop is not going to be only one class. It's going to be divided in say 5 to 8 classes depending upon how the student can assimilate the knowledge. But the first thing is that in this course you will understand how to do Chandipath correctly. And when I say correctly, I mean that there is a side to face when you do the Chandipath. Alright? The correct procedures of Achaman must be followed. And after Achaman, I will teach you how to do Swastivak. After that, Guru Naman and Sankalp. All of this you will learn. Also in this course, you will learn Asan Shuddhi. Because Chandipath done without these steps is not going to give you the benefits. And even if you cannot do the whole Chandipath, just the Navan mantra, on that I will be making a separate video. Even that is just chanting that, because Navan mantra is considered to be one of the most powerful Shakta mantras. So, as I said, that Asan Shuddhi, Bhuta Shuddhi, Pushpa Shuddhi, these are very essential steps to Upasana and to different puja vidhis. So it's mandatory to learn these things, without which if you delve straight into Chandipath, you are not going to get the same benefits. So keep that in mind. Now, Panchadevata Pujan, and this I have mentioned many times, Panchadevata Pujan, that even on a lingam, if you are doing Shiv Lingam Puja, Panchadevatas have to be propitiated in the lingam. So I teach a workshop for that also, how to offer abhishekam to a shivling. What kind of shivling is best to keep at home, what kind of shivlings to avoid, what are the dangers of say keeping a white shivling at home or a shivling that is bigger than your thumb. As a matter of fact, how to treat a shivling, how many times should you do abhishekam, what is the mantra vidhi. As I've said before, that many do Om Namah Shivaya without knowing that it is not the complete mantra. So that is a very important lesson for Shiv Bhakts who want to learn exactly how to offer. It could be raw milk, it could be honey, it could be sugarcane, it could be Ganga Jal. But how to offer that, and what mudras to show, and how to enter the dhyan state, and how to do mantra jap with that. So this is very important that you learn the correct way of how this is done. Now, with the Chandipath, there's of course the Nyas, which is a very important part of the worship. So I will be teaching you the Karanyas, the Hridayadina Nyas, and all of that, okay? And basically the Karanyas, and I'll tell you a bit about the mantra that we will use, is Ring. Ring is also known as Tantric Prana. Is also known as Tantric, I forgot to put the mic. I don't know if you heard my voice all this while, but yeah, now I can't seem to find the clip, so I completely forgot about it. But let's resume. That I hope you heard me. If you haven't, then I'll repeat, okay? But you can leave me a comment to let me know if you could hear what I said or not. So as I said that the ring mantra, which is considered a tantric pranav. Pranav is what? Om. So ring is used by tantrics in the place of Om. And with this, and this is also known as Maya Bij or Rilekha. And I made a separate video on that, Goddess Bhuvaneshwari and the Bij Mantra ring. So check that out on my homepage if you haven't already. So we are going to be doing the Karanyas, for instance. Om Hrang Angushtabhyam Namaha. Om Hring Tarjanibhyam Namaha. Om Hraing Madhyamabhyam Namaha. Like that, so on and so forth. I will be teaching you how to use the Bij mantra ring and its different pronunciations, because ring by itself is also a Shuddhikaran and a Purashcharan that must be done by everyone seeking the Devi's blessings. So as I said that coming up is Navratri, and even if you don't want to get into Chandipath or Chandi Puja Vidhi, learning that, you can just learn how to activate the Bij mantra ring. And this is a separate course that I teach with Nyas, with Shadanga Nyas, with Pancha Puja and all of that. And how to chant the mantra and how to use spices to better energize your mantra. Believe me, they work like magic because spices have a vibration. So every time you are doing a mantra on a spice, or if you're offering the spice to a deity, the mantra energies are always multiplied. So keep that in mind. Now with the ring bij, Vyapak Nyas will also be taught. Dhyan mantra will be taught, Manas Puja will be taught, or of course if you really want to do the puja, Manas Puja is mental puja. For people who do not have access to all the samagri or who might prefer a more samayachar way, alright, the mind. This is the mental puja. So I'll be teaching you both basically, and how to chant the Dhyan mantra and hold the dharana. Okay, so dharana is holding the form of Devi in your mind. So the Dhyana mantra explains to you the symbology of Chandi, and after chanting that you have to hold that form in your mind. Now that is the magic of Dhyana mantra. It's not just a mantra, it must be understood, and only once it is understood, only then can you use it to bring forth the image described in the Dhyan mantra. This is very, very important. If my sound was not okay, then I'm going to repeat myself again. I can't seem to find the clip. I seem to have lost it. So I hope sound is okay. Now the thing is that I'm launching a new course for Navratri, Chandi Puja Vidhi, Chandi Navarn Mantra, as well as the Chandipath for those interested. And in that I'm going to be teaching you very, very important things, kriyas like pranayam, kapalbhati and all, of course, achaman, swastik vak, guru, smaran, sankalp, asan shuddhi, bhut shuddhi, pushp shuddhi, panchadevata pujan, kula devata pujan, pranayam with ring. Alright, this is very, very important. Chandipath is always to be done with Nyas. So the Nyas will be taught. And Narad is the Rishi actually, and Dakshinamurti is the channeler. So as I said that the Bij mantra ring can be broken up into Rang, Ring, Rung, Reng, Rong, Ra. And with this we will be doing the Shadanganyas. And I was discussing the Dhyana mantra that we will hold the we will not only recite the Dhyana mantra, but we will understand what is explained in the Dhyan mantra. So we can hold the form of Devi in our mind. That is the point of Dhyan Mantra. And then Manas Puja or literal puja with all the samagri if you have. With mudras you will be taught. Alright. Then Kritanjali, how to give Kritanjali. Then Panchopachar Puja. And this Panchopachar Puja will be taught with the mantra Om Hreem Chandikayai Namaha. Om Hreem Chandikayai Namaha. By itself, this is a very, very powerful mantra. Now, after this stage comes the recitation of Chandi Gayatri. And when we recite Chandi Gayatri, it is then that we actually discover that Chandi is none other than Ma Tripura Sundari. Okay, none other than Tripura Sundari. She is none other than Adi Shakti Parvati. Because a Gayatri is Om Ain Chandikayai Vidmahe Tripurayai Dhimahi Tanno Gauri Prachodayat. And this Gayatri repetition, for those who will be studying the Navarn Mantra and the CHANDIPATH, this, yeah, it's ticking, alright. You can hear me, right? If someone can comment, although I'm not sure the comment will pop up. I don't know why no comments are popping up. So, if you can hear me, then maybe you can leave a message. Alright, so, Om Ain Chandikayai Vidmahe Tripurayai Dhimahi Tanno Gauri Prachodayat. And this, alright, good. And this must be recited at least 3 times. In fact, when you get into Shakta Sadhana, there are different sanskars that are taught. Like, how to take a bath with the mantra, with an invocation, how to bless your food, how to bless your water. Alright, so Om Hreem Chandikayai Namaha. It's a very, very powerful mantra. And of course, when you wake up in the morning, if you're doing the Chandi course, then you can wake up with 3 times recitation. Because see, the point of having to do this course is to figure out how to do it. Like I told you, explained to you, there's so many steps. That's why this course is not taught in one go. It's divided over, say, 5 or 8 classes. Because the CHANDIPATH by itself is huge. Okay, it's pretty huge. So you have to prepare yourself to get there. Okay, slow and steady preparation. And also for people who are doing Shakti Sadhana and have not done Bhairav before, they will have to dedicate some time to learn Bhairav first. Because without Bhairav's blessings, there is no Siddhi in any Devi Pujan. This is an absolute must. Alright, so Om Ain Chandikayai Vidmahi Tripurayai Dhimahi Tanno Gauri Prachodayat. Just through her Gayatri, now you can tell that she is none other than Tripura. She is none other than Tripura Sundari. She is none other than Tripura Bala Sundari. Alright. So, and she is also Gauri or Parvati. Now, this has to be chanted when you're doing this. The sanskars are separate, but before you start the Navarn Mantra or the CHANDIPATH, you'll have to do 3 times. You have to recite this. 3 times recitation must be done. And then 3 times Pushpanjali must be offered. So see, if you don't do these steps, then you will not be able to open up the energy of the Navarn Mantra. That's why a lot of people do CHANDIPATH, Navarn Mantra, but they are not getting the benefits that they should get. And of course, after this, the text that you're reading from is also worshipped. The text, the book that you will hold in your hand. And if you are just printing it out, I send my students the text, you can print it out. If you're just printing it out, then you'll have to bind it, laminate it, so you can worship the text. Very simple. Om Devi Mahatmayai Pustakayai Namaha. This is the mantra that you will have to worship
the CHANDIPATH text with this mantra. Om Devi Mahatmyai Pustakayai Namaha. And then rain must be chanted 108 times. And after that, the Navarn mantra must be practiced. If you can post it on the group, Marco, then other people can also join from the group, because I already left a message, but I didn't have the time to share the link. So all of this is going to be taught, like I said, that Ring must be chanted 108 times. Ring Purashcharan must be completed anyway. So Ring Shaktipath also must be received, as well as, the Nyas and all that, and certain amount of Ring Ucharan must be completed. So as I said, that when you approach a Shakti like the Navarn mantra or Chandipath, even Devi Shuktam, Ratri Shuktam, you have to open up the energy. So this is very, very important that you learn the steps, because even after doing Om Ring 108 times, you do the Navarn mantra. Om Aim Hrim Klaim Chamundaya Vicha. Om Aim Hrim Klaim Chamundaya Vicha. Well, it is been my pursuit. The goddess worship has been my pursuit since I can remember. So when you love something, you tend to spend as much time as you can with it, which is why I made this my livelihood, which is about why I chose this as my career as well as my spiritual path. So then, I have to give in that kind of dedication, and I have been blessed. So yes. After the Navarn mantra is recited, then Utkilanam must be done and Shaputchar must be done, which is Shap Vimochan also it is called, where you remove the curse. Alright? Yes. Books, Guru, my father, many things. And then after the Utkilanam is done, then you have to do Shapodhyar, okay? Also known as Shap Vimochan. And Shapodhyar is when you remove the curse of the mantra. And I told you that after Shiva gave Ravan all the tantra to Ravan, okay, after Devadidev Mahadev gave all the tantric teachings to Ravan. And what did Ravan do with that? He misused it, right? As we know the story that Ravan misused all the tantra. And because of that, Lord Shiva himself, Devadidev Mahadev himself, put kilak, nailed, loosely translated, put kilakams on each mantra. So in the future, no one will be able to abuse the power of these mantras. So without the knowledge of how to open the mantra with Utkilanam and Shapodhyar, you will not be able to get all the benefits. Like I told you that many people are doing Om Aim Reem Kleem Chamundaya Vicha, Om Aim Reem Kleem Chamundaya Vicha, right? And then they feel like that they don't know, right? They don't know how to get the full benefits, or they are not getting all the benefits that they should get. So this is very important, why it has to be done correctly, okay? The thing with every puja, there is a vidhi. So vidhi must be followed, and even if you're doing it with full devotion and everything, but each vidhi is a scientific reason. It's like when you're conducting an experiment, you have to go step by step. It's science. Even when you're learning something new, a language or a math problem, you have to go step by step. You have to understand the problem and how you can solve it, how you can equip yourself with the knowledge to solve it. So this is what learning how to do puja in the correct way. will help your experiment of consciousness to be a success. So this is the thing. After Shapodhyar, then Argala Stotram is recited. Then Kilak Stav is taught. Then Devi Kavacham is taught. Then Ratri Shukta is taught. After this begins the CHANDIPATH. So you understand that how many steps, that's why it's not taught in one class. I'm just giving to you the whole overview of the course, which is completed either in 5 or 8 depending upon the students' observational skills, learning skills, retention skills, assimilation skills. Alright, so this is important. Then after that, CHANDIPATH is taught. And CHANDIPATH takes a long time. Okay, so many people opt, instead of going for the full CHANDIPATH, to just do the Navarn mantra. Om Aim Hreem Kleem Chamundaya Vicha. Om Aim Hreem Kleem Chamundaya Vicha. Alright. So this is what I will be teaching. Tons of information on how to chant, and this is a perfect course for Navratri. Before doing, and also interesting things like, when we do CHANDIPATH, before doing each Charitra part, we have to, no, I'm not. Before doing each Charitra part, one has to invoke the archetype by Dhyan and Path. So all of this information will be taught. So each time there is a new archetype that surfaces, Dhyan must be done of that archetype before you can, when you're reading the CHANDIPATH itself. Alright, and I'll delve into the intricacies of what this means in the course. So if you're interested, you can text me +917030258060 to learn this whole syllabus step by step. And as I said, 5 to 8 classes. If you're really good at it, then 5 classes, otherwise 8 classes. And it takes about 6 months to learn. And then after that, it becomes a lifelong practice. So keep that in mind. After the CHANDIPATH, then Devi Shuktam and Shamapam Stotram is also taught. So Devi Shuktam is very, very interesting. And Shamapam Stotra is forgiveness stotra, which I think after every ritual, one must embark on this. Even if you don't do a stotra, you should always tell deity that forgive me for any inconsistencies in the proper Padpati. Forgive me if I have not been able to do everything as thoroughly as I should be, and because I don't know, or I don't have the information, or because I have not been able to yet assimilate this in my practice. So please forgive me. Forgiveness is an absolute must when you're doing any kind of ritual. Alright, it's also telling yourself that it's okay, even if you didn't remember, or yes, very difficult. This is not everyone's path at all. That's why students are taken only after careful perusal, because this is a lifetime commitment and this is not an easy path, like I said. Everybody will greatly benefit if they pick up a practice, or if they do something, in a sustained manner. But it's not everyone's path. So only if your heart is open to the Devi energy, to Shakti, and if the Devi is calling you, only then do embark on this journey. Otherwise, do not. So then after Shamapam, Devi Dhyan will be taught again, how to do another variation of Devi Dhyan. Then after all of this, a handful of water is to be dropped with a mantra, and that is offered to her left hand. And then the Vidhi concludes. So you see, it took me about 24 minutes to explain to you the scope of the new syllabus that I'm launching on Devi Chandi and CHANDIPATH and Navarn Mantra. And of course, I'll be teaching Shap Vimochan, Utkilanam, Shapodhyara, Shap Vimochan, Utkilanam, all of that. Now, there will be two variants of the Navarn Mantra that will be taught. One which is Om Aim Hreem Kleem Chamundaya Vicha, which is the more exoteric version, but also an esoteric version will be taught. So now we are going to delve into who is Chandi. Now, Chandi Devi is as old as time herself. And you will not believe it, but the Devi Puja system, okay, Shakta Tantra system, the worship of the Devi, has been prevalent in Bharat for thousands of years. Thousands of years, okay. It is, let's just say from prehistoric times in Bharat, the Devi has been worshipped. All right, and we can see this even in the findings at Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. And nobody has been able to time, the time frame of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa has not been ascertained, simply because they don't know the script. It's a Proto-Sanskrit script. And believe me that the Rig Veda is a product of the Indus Valley, the Harappan civilization. We all are descendants of the Harappan and Mohenjo-daro civilization, the Indus Valley. There never has been an Aryan invasion. There never has been foreigners who have come into Bharat with the knowledge of Rig Veda. This knowledge is our knowledge, our ancestral knowledge, that has been passed down uninterrupted for thousands of years. If you're interested to learn more about time frames and how old is Bharat, how old is our culture, then you should watch the videos of Nilesh Oak. His father was Professor Oakes, who proved that the Taj Mahal is actually a mandir, a Shiv mandir. Taj Mahalay it was called. So his son Nilesh Oak, should be his son or brother or someone, he studies the texts and the astrological suggestions in it, and he puts a tentative timeline. So he's discovered that our civilization is actually really, really ancient. So, and even the digs at Mohenjo-daro and Harappa have shown that the goddess was worshipped there in all her glory. She was the Adhishthatri Devi. Alright? Okay. I thought Nilesh, okay. I thought he was Professor Oak's son. Alright. So, definitely watch his videos because, his time frames are stupendous. Now, the Devi has always been worshipped, and the archaeological digs have proven that a prototype of Shiva was worshipped. The Devi in all her forms was worshipped in the Mohenjo-daro and Harappan civilization. Now, I will go so far as to tell you that the primary tattva or the primary archetype that was always worshipped in Bharatvarsh was the Devi. Alright, the Devi is as old as humanity, as time, as old as humanity, because humanity had to be there to perceive the glory of the Devi. The Devi comes through us, so she may perceive herself. So this is also very, very interesting that humans actually are very important to manifest deity. Our bhakti, our bhav is what brings Devata or Devi into manifestation. So this is very, very important to understand that the Devi Tattva was worshipped since time immemorial. And in our civilization, it was the primary, she was the primary tattva, the archetype, the primary archetype who was worshipped. Now, people tend to think that the Vedic civilization is not about the Devi, that the Devi doesn't really have a place. She's Aditi, she's Mula Prakriti, and many people tend to think that, right, that Devi Puja did not happen in all its glory in the Vedic times. Then what is the Devi Shukta, which is from the Rig Veda, the oldest text known to humankind? What is the Ratri Shukta? Yeah, they are the same, but yeah, that's a very interesting point. Kubjika is a manifestation of Chandi, yes, and Kubjika Tantra is actually a phenomenal text, and I have a lot of association to Nepal, so I know a lot of those stories. Someday, definitely. Now, so what is the Ratri Shuktam of the Samaved? What is the Devi Shukta that is written by Vak, then the Vak Devi, and of course in this the Ashtamatrikas are mentioned. Now I have gone into great depth about Ashtamatrikas in the Yogini videos. So, and I've got like I think 10 or 12 Yogini videos. I mean, I'm not sure, 5, 6, maybe 10, 12, I don't know. Seems like forever I've been making this Yogini videos, and I've started work on a book on Yoginis, and of course I've got my WhatsApp course still going, and I'm launching a new batch for Yogini worship. So if you're interested, drop me an email or text me on my number. Now the thing is that the Ashtamatrikas have had a very sacred place in the Rigvedic times, very, very sacred. And Vak herself experienced Devi in her Atman. In her Atman, she experienced the Devi Tattva. And she proclaims that I am Brahmamayi, Adya Devi and Vishveshwari. So I am Brahmamayi, I am Adya Devi, and I am Vishveshwari. Brahmamayi is somebody who's filled with Brahma Gyan. Adya Devi is the prime, the first emanation of Shakti, and Vishveshwari is Vishwa Ishwari. So Vishwa is all manifested, unmanifested reality, and Ishwari is the queen, the empress, like Lalita Tripura Sundari is the empress. Okay, so this is what Vak experienced when she felt the Devi Tattva in her being, the very depths of her soul she felt it. At all times remember that whether we call her Durga, whether we call her Kali, whether we call her Tara, Devi is Brahma Shakti. She is the power that moves Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Right? I explained to you how in this absolutely beautiful text of Sri Vidya, Saundarya Lahari, it is said that Saundarya Lahari, it is said how thousands and millions of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh take the palm shoe from her feet, cosmic debris, and they create the 7 lokas. And this is again in multiple realities, you can understand just by the story that millions of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh gather at her court, and they take the pangshu, the cosmic debris from her feet, and they create the 7 lokas. So I have a book on Sri Vidya, 2 books on Sri Vidya if you're interested, about it's more on Bala and Mahaganpati, and of course I've got tons of videos on Lalita Tripura Sundari, but a book exclusively on Tripura Sundari is coming up. So, because remember that Ma Chandi is none other than Tripura Sundari. So keep that in mind. Devi is Brahma Shakti. You have to text me +917030258060. And then you have to pay me. I don't sell these books on Amazon because these books are made for serious students, and I like to have a one-on-one interaction, at least a little bit longer till I put up my books on Amazon. Alright, so you have to email me or text me on my WhatsApp and I will reveal to you how. I mean, you just have to pay me and I'll send it to you. There's no great revelation. I'll send it to you immediately. They are ebooks, so you will receive them immediately. Now, you can read about Bala and Mahaganpati in great detail. But watch my videos on Tripura Sundari, they are very unique. As I said, I've devoted all my life to understanding the variance of this Brahmamai Shakti, this Brahma Shakti that we call Chandi, that we call Chamunda, that we call Lalita Tripura Sundari, that we call Dhumavati, that we call Kali, that we call Tara. Alright, so I've got 7 books. Alright, so drop me an email if you want to know more. Now, Devi is Brahma Shakti, and this Shakta Siddhant is the basis of Kenopanishad from Samaved. Kenopanishad is from, a chapter from Samaved, and Shakta Siddhant, as in the importance of the goddess, has been mentioned in this Kenopanishad. Alright, and this is from the Samaved. Another very interesting thing is only the Devi can destroy the Asuras. If you notice, as our history dictates, she wins the war for the Devas. I mean, talk about Rakta Bij, talk about Chandamunda, talk about Bhasmasur, any of them, Tripurasur. You need the Devi, because even Shiva cannot end their lives. So Asuras are our lower impulses. Yeah. Asuras are our lower impulses, and only a Jagrat Kundalini Shakti can destroy those lower impulses. So remember that only Kundalini Jagran can help you in destroying your lower iddhis or your lower propensities, your lower vibrations. So that's why it is only the Devi Durga, to kill Mahishashur. That's why her name is Mahishashur Mardini. So she is the one who has to go forth and she has to face the demon head on, and she has to destroy the demon. It is always the task of the feminine to do this in our scriptures. And this is very, very interesting for people to understand, because Devi worship is not only 9 days of Navratri and then you treat your wife and daughter like shit. You don't want to have a female child, but you worship the goddess Durga. I mean, these kinds of hypocrisies, this is what's keeping us enmeshed in this samsara of suffering. Such duality, such dichotomies that we allow ourselves to partake in. It fragments us, it shatters our well-being, our mental well-being, our psyche. You cannot say that the menstrual blood is ashuddh, because from the menstrual blood comes life. Life-affirming menstrual blood is not ashubh. Right? A woman is not to be ostracized. A woman is not allowed to do puja. Why? Because the menstrual blood actually makes her more spiritual. So these are things that have been kept away from us. us. She has veiled herself as you and me. So we cannot see through the smog, the fog does not lift. We cannot see through it. And here we are waiting like blind people. We don't know what to do. We treat our wives, our mothers, our daughters like shit. We make them work in the house the whole day. We don't respect them. We go out, and have affairs while our moms and while our wives are at home. This is something that the dichotomy of being a Shakta sadhak and then relinquishing the responsibility of, being a good provider, because at the end of the day, remember, and I don't mean financial providing, at the end of the day, the masculine has to provide a foundation for the feminine. If the masculine does not provide a foundation for the feminine, then creation cannot happen. So that is why Shiva has to lie down to be the foundation for Kali's dance. That's why Ma Tripura Sundari sits on a cot which has Pancha Shiv. Okay, 5 forms of Shiva has to support her. Only then can Kriya commence. Only then can she start working and creating and sustaining. So this is something that we have to understand, that the masculine has to provide the foundation. Has to. Alright. So this is something to always remember. If you consider yourself close to the goddess, be nice to your wife, be nice to your mother, be nice to your daughter, your sister. These are the relationships that when you dutifully enact out the roles you're supposed to experience, the roles you're supposed to, enact. And now, enact and all may sound vague, we're not enacting these roles, but in the cosmic strata, in the cosmic story, you are enacting but a role. This physical body is but a costume you have donned. So keep that in mind to be the best version. And it's not always possible. We have stress. We live in this really polarized world. It's not easy. But as a Shakta Tantric, you must respect the female in everything. The female in animals. She is Shakti. That's why Bhairav always has his female dogs with him. Because Bhairav always needs the feminine. That's why his yoginis, his twin flames are the yoginis. The Bhairavs and the yoginis are also twin flames. They cannot exist without each other. So this is something to think about, that, we complement each other, the masculine and the feminine, and we need to embrace that. I understand why some people want equality for women, but women have to realize that they are the creators. It is their story. The male has to provide the foundation, and the female has to intertwine him in her story. Now tell me, this is Kali's creation, but do we not know about our father Shiva, Mahadev? For it is only the mother who can tell us who our father is. Our father's real identity is only known by one person, and that is our mother. So there is no knowing Shiva. There is no realization of Shivoham without Kali, without Tara. So it's not like you're doing, CHANDIPATH or Navarn mantra and then out there you're disrespecting women, or you're salacious or licentious or you're philandering. Then don't do Shakta sadhana, because then you're just being a hypocrite. and you will not get anything out of this. You're wasting your time. But if you're willing to walk the talk, if you're willing to love the feminine in all her intricacies and all her mood swings, with all her, polarizations, then embrace her. And I say the same for the feminine, that if you want to love your partner, you have to love them with all their craziness, their little crazy narratives that drives you nuts. This is why we are here, to interact with one another, to tell one another our stories, to share, to love, to cry together. So this is very important to understand, that the right mindset must be inculcated before the sadhana. Otherwise, do not bother, really. Try something else. If you disrespect women, there's another variant, that you have been hurt by women, or you have mother wounds and you don't know how to let that go. So you may find in that case that surrendering to the goddess is actually the most healing balm on the wounds, or salve on the wounds. Okay? Just saying Shri Mata, which is the first name in Lalita Sahasranam, just by chanting that 108 times a day, if you have a picture, if you don't, if you have the Medu, if you don't, no need. Hold her form in your third eye and just chant Shri Mata, Shri Mata, and you'll see what I mean. That there'll come a time when you will find forgiveness for the women who have wronged you. Remember that women, a lot of them are now just tools of patriarchy. And the way they behave with other women is reprehensible. Sorry. Sorry. It's reprehensible, the way they behave with other women. Alright? So if you're not willing to surrender to the feminine, to love her, to heal yourself from the wounds that may be inflicted upon your psyche, your mind, body, soul. So if you're willing to let that go, give it a try. Because through great surrender comes great healing. People tell me, tell me Tina, you'll do a puja for me. Or tell me Ma, that you'll do a puja for me. When will I see results? Results come only when you are ready to receive. The puja is an activation, prayer in your name with your sankalp, to tell the goddess that, hey Ma, can you listen? It's like that, say you want to tell your mom something. But you're not getting, if you don't pick up the phone, if you do not call her, how will you get your point across? So the puja is calling her up. Now with your devotion, with your surrender, will you be able to receive the message that she gives. So keep that in mind. It's ultimately all about the mindset. We are manifesting this reality individually and collectively. So that's something to really think about. We are the authors, the writers, the auteurs of our own story. And believe me, if you surrender to the feminine, then you will realize that things are so creative. Things are so fulfilling, so nurturing. If you're a man, you still have the feminine within you. The part of you that is intuitive, the part of you that is creative, the part of you that wants to nourish, nurture. That is your feminine side. And when you do Shakti sadhana, you develop these sides. You develop these paths. That's why it's really
I cannot tell you enough how powerful this practice can be for someone who's been embittered by life, for someone who's been embittered by the feminine. That now everything is, oh, my mother abandoned me. If you've had that abandonment complex. So, again, I digress. So, remember that the Devi is the power of the Devas. She is the reason why the sun has a course, and it's exerting this heliospheric influence as to keep us sustained. She's the reason why the planets follow the path of the ecliptic. She's the reason why we are not bumping. She gave birth to Ganesh, that is gravitation, the quantum graviton. So it's very interesting to understand that she is the ultimate Brahma Shakti. And another very interesting story about Durga is that when Durga was created, all the Devatas and the Devatas, they got together and each one of them gave her something. Mahadev gave her the Trishul, Vishnu gave her the Sudarshan Chakra, Himavat gave her the lion that she sits on, was given by Himalaya Parvat. So on and so, Indra gave her the Vajra. So Brahma Shakti, so that means that within her reside the higher impulses of all the Devatas. They're most powerful. When you talk about the Sudarshan Chakra, it is Vishnu's most powerful weapon. He gives her the Sudarshan Chakra. So you see, every god has given the Devi their very best. So this is also something very interesting, that is how and in CHANDIPATH we actually go through the birth of Mahishamardini. So it's very interesting to see how the Devas actually, their combined energies helps bring Shakti into manifestation. And again, I will repeat that she is the very epitome of Brahma Shakti or Brahma Gyan. Now, in the Grihya Sutra of Shankhayan, we find the name Bhadrakali. Of course, we know the shloka, Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Shama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute. Right? Kali Kali, Mahakali, Kali Ke, Papanashini, so on and so forth. So, Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Shama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute. So, she is all these Devis. The key to Shakta sadhana is not to think of Parashakti or Adya Shakti as many goddesses. They are all one entity, one archetype. And this archetype that is the great mother, the great feminine, not the great mother, the archetype that is the great feminine, comes to you in different forms. Most famous being the tripartite structure, the mother, the maiden, the mother, the crone. We'll get into that actually. The tripartite goddess. As a Wicca actually was inspired by this very tantric treatise that I will tell you. Now, also in this, in the text called Hiranyakshi Griha Sutra, we are taught how to do homam, as in yagya, and how to give ahutis. This is explained to the Devis in this Hiranyakshi Grihya Sutra, this particular text. And it's very, very important to do the havans, yagyas as they were called before, but now we do havans. Now in Shukla Yajurveda, Vajseniya Samhita, Devi Ambika is said to be Rudra's
niece. But in Krishna Yajurved, Taittiriya Aranyaka, she is said to be Rudra's wife. Shri Chandi is Vedmul. Now many people, as I said, think that goddess worship, it does not have a place in the Vedas. But Chandi herself is the root of all the Vedas. The root of the Vedas, she is the root of the Vedic literature. That's why she is known as Vedamula. Her first emanation, Ma Chandi's first emanation, is as Rik Veda. So she is Rik Veda Swarupa. Rik Veda Swarupa. This is how Ma Chandi, the root of the Vedas, this is how she emanated in the world, as Rik Veda Swarupa. Then she appeared as Yajurved. So Yajurved Swarupa was a second emanation. And then we had to have a third emanation as Samaved Swarupa. Alright? The chandas of these Vedas are Gayatri, Ushnik and Anushtup. So recitation in Gayatri Chanda gives Brahma Tej. You'll see that in many of the mantras when I teach you guys the Nyas and the Vinayog. Then we do the Chanda. Right? Like Gayatri Chanda Se Namaha or Anushtupa Chanda Se Namaha. Right? So, the three Vedas, the meters of the three Vedas, Rik, Yajur, Sama, are Gayatri, Ushnik and Anushtup. So, Gayatri being the first, Gayatri gives Brahma Tej and increases lifespan. When you do a mantra, that meter is Gayatri. Alright, and gives bliss, untold bliss. When you chant a mantra, that is Gayatri Chanda. Now, at the beginning of Chandipath, we chant in Gayatri Chanda. And Gayatri is Ved Mata and is the top Ved mantra, Rik Vedic mantra. Right? A Brahmin must do Gayatri Jap on 3 Sandhya, we know that. And it is to get the Tejomai Brahma Gyan that Brahmins do the Gayatri Jap. She gives Tej, Gayatri gives Tej. Now, the three Vedas, Rik, Yajur and Sama, are also compared to her three forms that I mentioned, the tripartite goddess. And we see this also in Wicca, the symbol of Wicca, the 2 circles and the 2 crescent moons, the tripartite goddess, right? So the 3 Vedas are actually her tripartite form. The 3 forms, the maiden, the mother, and the crone. So Brahmi is Brahma Shakti. Brahma Shakti, Brahmi. She is the maiden. Right? Mother is Mahalakshmi. Mother is Mahalakshmi. And she is known as Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi is Vishnu Shakti, Vishnu's consort. Alright? And crone is Mahasaraswati. Mahasaraswati, and she is also known as Maheshwari. So when you do Khadgamala Stotram with me, how we move from Brahmi, Kaumari, and then we move on, so on and so forth, till we come to Maheshi or Maheshwari. And each archetype, the dhyan of that archetype must be held in the mind. So Khadgamala, like Chandipath, is not just a recitation. It's a lot more than that. So Maheshwari is Shiva Shakti. Shiva is power. Shiva Shakti is Maheshwari. Now Chandi is none other than this Tejomai Brahma Swarupini Gayatri. Told you that Chandi is Vedmula. Chandi has manifested in her tripartite form as mother, as maiden mother, as maiden mother and crone, as Rik Yajur Sama. That is how she has manifested in front of us. And she is Prana Vrupini or Prana Vrupa, Prana being Omkar. This is her real form, Omkar. Alright, Shastras tell us that the Ring mantra is Rig. We also call it a ring. Ring mantra is used for Stava of Paramatman. Alright, when we say in CHANDIPATH, we say ring mantra, te korle atto porichoy, ghoshona atto porichoy in CHANDIPATH in Bengali. So, with the ring mantra, ring mantra, we call it, that's how she manifests through stava. She becomes the stava version of Paramatman. Yajur Vedic mantra, so Rig Vedic mantra is the ring mantra ghoshana she does as the stav. We do stav. Then the Yajur Vedic mantras tell us about pujan vidhi. Sama Vedic mantras tell us about bhajan and the power of bhajan. So Chandi is Paramatmani. Alright, and she is Vedmata Gayatri. It is, the thing is a lot of people say, that, I do Gayatri mantra, I do Gayatri, but what you forget is that Gayatri is is meant for a different time. Gayatri mantra is created for Satya Yuga. But in Kali Yuga, this very same Gayatri mantra must be done as Chandipath. So tell me that, am I saying don't do Gayatri mantra? A lot of people misunderstand. I'm saying that Gayatri mantra is now in Kali Yuga the Chandipath. A rose by any other name is still a rose. When you take a handful of water, I may say it a jol. Someone may say, ye to pani hai. You might say, oh my God, this is water. A scientist may say, oh, that is H2O. But water doesn't change because you and I decide to name it in our own language. Water is still water. Even if you study the molecular structure of water, water doesn't change. Water is still water. So Vedmula Gayatri is still powerful, but not as the Gayatri mantra anymore. She is powerful as Chandi in Kali Yuga. She is powerful as Chandipath. Alright? So this is something to understand, that when I tell people that, a lot of people ask me, do you teach Gayatri mantra? No, I don't teach Gayatri mantra because I teach Chandipath, which is apt for this age, which is apt for this time. It's okay to be anachronistic and, want to hold on to things of things of the hoary past. But we have to understand that each time frame has its own energies, vibration, frequency. And in Kali Yuga, the Gayatri mantra is not going to give you the four Purusharthas, Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha. Only Shakti sadhana, that Vedmul Gayatri worshipped as Chandi, will guide you. Wow! Will guide you towards. I love the Northeast so much. I want to go there. I love the Northeast. So that's something to think about. That you don't have to relinquish Gayatri mantra. Gayatri is none other than Chandi. But in this time frame, in this era, in this Kali Yuga, you must do Chandipath. Alright, now let us talk a bit about Vajrayan, the system of Vajrayan. And this is of course Buddhist Tantra. Buddhists have numerous texts, right? You have the Mahayana system, Theravada system, the Hinayan system, Here Vajrayana system, which is again broken up into many, I will explain it to you. But the two most important Buddhist texts, and I've read a lot about Buddhist Tantra. In fact, my father's guru, who is actually my spiritual guide, who also predicted my birth way before my father was also born, Paramhamsa Vishuddhananda, who I consider to be my spiritual North Star. His main Diksha Guru was Brahmarishi Mahatapa of Gyanganj. And Brahmarishi Mahatapa was Tibetan. So we have a lot of connection with Tibetan Tantra and how we had an assimilation with the Bengali Shakta Tantra, and we are very close by, we are neighbors literally, Nepal, Tibet, we call it Mahachin. We, in our literature, we call Tibet Mahachin, so the Great China. So that means all the Chinese people in some way are descendants of the Tibetan people. They are, and we call Tibetan Tantra, Vajrayana, we call it Mahachinchar. Alright, some people say Chinachar. It's not Chinachar, it's Mahachinachar. Alright, so the Vajrayana system is very important. Dark? Okay, I don't know what to do. Bring it a bit closer then. My husband so nicely just informed me that my face is absolutely black. But the lighting is totally off. I'm trying to get the lighting fixed. But you really don't need to say, no, oh no, I'm totally vampiric. No. No, no. Give me a migraine, really. Okay. No, just put it up. Yeah, and bring it close. Yes, direct on the face doesn't look good. Anyway, so let's resume the discussion. Hopefully the sun will go down soon and this light will... No. It doesn't work. No. Ow. No. Is it too dark? I hope you guys can see me. But it looks different here and it looks different on the screen also. Alright, so let's start a little bit of bantering. I lost a few people also. Okay, so let's get back to the discussion of Vajrayana and the assimilation of Shakta Tantric traditions into the Vajrayana system. As I told you that my spiritual North Star, Paramhamsa Vishuddhananda, who predicted my birth way before my father was born, his main guru was Brahmarishi Mahatapa. And as you know that Mahatapa was Tibetan. And we call Tibet Mahachin, as I was saying. So I firmly believe that all the people, no, he doesn't mean my skin is dark. He means the light is not enough. Maybe if you open that, he doesn't mean that. He means that I don't have enough light on my face, that I don't want a light burning on my face right now, okay? So, yeah, as good as it gets. So let's get back to our discussion. That Vajrayana, right, the two main texts is Mool Kalpa Tantra and Samaj Tantra, and these are ancient. These are not only Vajrayana, but these are very, very old Buddhist texts, thousands of years old. All right, and interestingly, Shakta Tantra and Vajrayana systems were studied in depth in Nalanda and in Vikramshila. Both these ancient universities, they were like the reservoir of tantric literature and texts, and the fact that we lost all the books in Nalanda and in Vikramshila and of course Takshashila, all our universities were plundered. And imagine in Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, out of all the chapters, we have only one chapter left. So you can understand that how much we have, which is one chapter, and what we lost to Muhammad Ghori. Muhammad Ghori made such a big fire that the fire of Nalanda did not go off for months on end. All our ancient Shakta Tantric texts from Bengal, Orissa, Bihar. Tantra did spread to various parts of India, but the birthplace, the womb of Tantra is Bengal and Assam, Kamakhya, Orissa. Alright, Orissa, Assam, and Bengal. These were the main places of tantric study. Of course, then a version of the tantra went to the south, which later became famous as Sri Vidya. So Tripura Sundari and the south Sri Vidya differs slightly from the cradle of tantra, which is the Bengali tantra. The Kamakhya tantra differs slightly from the Sri Vidya system. The Kali Tantra of Mahanirvan Tantra differs from the Sri Vidya system that is taught in the south. Yet the key point is Tripura Sundari Sodashi is none other than Kamakhya, none other than Tripura Sundari herself, none other than Chandi. This is Mula Prakriti in her various manifestations. Alright? So, very, very ancient texts, like I told you, Mool Kalp Tantra and Samaj Tantra. Now, there was a lot of cultural exchange happening in Nalanda and in Bikramshila, and a lot of cultural exchanges were going on with the Mahachinas, that is the Tibetans. So, they were Nepalis as well. Nepal is again one of the goddesses' playgrounds. She loves Nepal, Mahachin, Bengal, Assam, Orissa. This is where Shakta Tantra basically originated, and then it spread everywhere in the world as you know it. So the cultural exchange between, say, a yogini like myself, if I was in the past, and if I were to go to Nalanda, and there I met a Vajrayana Buddhist monk, and there we would talk about our different systems, and he would tell me all the stuff that he does with his the Chakra Tantra, with his Vajrayan, with his Sahaja Tantra, and then I would tell him what we do with our Kamakhya Tantra. So this is how cultural exchanges started happening between the Shaktas and the Mahachinacharas, Tibetans mostly. And this is how the Buddhists, they learned of Ma Chandi. And quickly Ma Chandi gained a lot of, yes, but Nepal in itself is a hotbed of Shakta Tantra and Tantrics. It's a hotbed for that, alright? And in fact, a lot of our Siddhis and the Pashupatinath temple, because you have to understand, Nepal was a part of Akhanda Bharat. Nepal wasn't a country by itself. Nepal was a part of Akhanda Bharat. So, and it's very close to Bengal, like you can literally walk there. You know, if you go to Sikkim, which is the end point from Bengal, you go on to Sikkim, you can literally walk there. The border is so easy to go. Kathmandu takes us a day, 1 day and 1 night by car. Alright, and like about an hour by flight. It's that close. So, obviously there were cultural exchanges because Nepal was a part of Akhanda Bharat. So you cannot say that Nepal has learned its tantra from Mahachinacharas or Indians, but they were Bharatiyas, and as was Tibet a part of Akhanda Bharat at that time. That is why this system of whether you call it Bengali Shakta Tantra or you call it Vajrayan, it's all coming from the same areas. This is the birthplace. Alright? Bengal, Assam, Orissa, Nepal, Mahachin. This is the goddess's, let's just say her Leela Bhumi. Yes, yes, so that's like another topic totally. But Nepalis were a part of Akhanda Bharat, so they are not a different country who learned it from us. They were with us, and we all learned it together, basically, right? The Devi revealed herself to, and very many powerful Nepali tantrics have existed. So therefore, that's something. Now, the thing is that very soon, Ma Chandi was assimilated in the Vajrayan pantheon, and she quickly became, and this was because of the cultural exchange that was happening in Nalanda, Tokushila, Vikramshila. All the tantrics would go and they would study there, and they would exchange information. So that's how the system kind of like rebirthed itself so many times. In fact, in Nepal, now that we are talking about Nepal, I'll tell you an interesting story. In Nepal, a text on Sri Sri Chandi was discovered over 1,000 years ago, just in the 1940s or 50s, by some, I don't know, some white guy discovered it. They were the ones who were doing the archaeological digs at that time. I don't remember his name. But this was written by a Buddhist scholar from Nepal 1,000 years ago. So you understand how Nepal is actually obviously Pashupatinath, and the Smashan at Pashupatinath is absolutely mind-blowing. Now, the cultural exchange of the Buddhists, Mahachinas, Tibetan Buddhists, were mostly with the Bengali tantrics, right? And the Devi was interpreted and reinterpreted by the two sects. So you understand that there's this gorgeous university called Nalanda, and there's so much of literature, text, scriptures. Tantrics from Bengal would go and they would study with these Mahachina tantrics or Tibetans, and they would exchange, and in their debates and their spiritual exchanges, they would try and reinterpret the goddess in their own way. I mean, that's very interesting, because that's what we humans tend to do. Each of us have a unique experience, so we interpret the world according to our unique experiences. So that's why truth is not always sacrosanct. I may see it from my point of view, coming from my system, my DNA, my parents, and my educational background, my experiences. That's what shapes my worldview, as does yours. So you have your own set of, your DNA, your ancestral baggage, and we all have ancestral baggage that we come with. So ultimately, the goddess, the Devi Chandi, was reinterpreted by the Mahachin Tantrics and by the Shakta Tantrics in universities like Nalanda and Vikramshila and places like that. In Vajrayan, the Panchadhyani Buddha has his Shaktis. They are known as Lochana, Yamki, Pandara, Aryatara, Vajradhateshwari. Now imagine how Shiva has 5 faces, right? So the Panchadhyani Buddha, and again Shukri Mudra, 5 elements, Panchatattva. This is again a play on Panchatattva. So the Dhyani Buddha has his Panchashakti. Very, very interesting. Now, how we have Vamachar and Dakshinachar, right? Now again, Vamachar, Dakshinachar is only decided by Guru, and that is decided after studying the gunas of the disciple. Everybody is not given Vamachar Diksha. Alright? Most people are given Dakshinachar Diksha. Alright? Because there is the path of the grihastha mostly, dakshinachar. Then you have vamachar, which is the path of the veer. Because when you are doing vamachara sadhana, you cannot be a coward. Simple. You have to be fearless. That's why Tantra makes one fearless. The goddess worship in its nuances. If anything, if you ask me that, if I do the Navarn mantra, if I do Chandi Upasana, what is the one thing that I will take away from this is fearlessness. So if you tend to have a coward-like disposition, if you tend to be fearful, then Shakta Sadhana is again another great way to get over fear. Alright? And it works, believe me. So Buddhists, as we have got our Vamachara, our Dakshinachara, Divyachara, Buddhists they have divided their Tantra into Kriya Tantra, Charya Tantra and Yoga Tantra. So this Kriya Tantra is again very similar to Kriya Yoga. So see how our systems are actually completely the same. It's again the story of me taking a glass of water and saying it a jol, and you saying, oh, that's water. Somebody else saying, ye to pani hai. Ultimately, it is what it is. It's water. So the Tantra remained. That's why we still practice. I mean, Vajrayana has its own followers, but as you can see with the resurrection of the goddess happening in Shakta Tantra now, the goddess is seriously, the goddess archetype is seriously awakening in mass consciousness. So through Shakta Tantra, through our system, because I told you that, when you look at the Sanghas, the Vajrayan system of Sanghas and the sterility of the Sanghas, and when you put that in stark contrast to the Yogini temples, the circular, hypaethral temples, and you have all this kind of like, as I said, that the monks, they desire immortality. Whereas the Shakta Yogini, they desire life and its nuances. So there's a very life-affirming, Shakti is life. There's a very life-affirming. Our practices are very, if you get a good teacher in Shakta Tantra, the practices are never, not fun. It's such a fun system, such a life-affirming, fertile system that, there's no monotony to this. There's no, oh, I'm so bored, which you can feel at a Sangha. There's a difference when Tantra has been interpreted and the Sangha system has been introduced in the Vajrayan. So it's in stark contrast to the Yogini traditions. It's in stark contrast to the Yogini traditions actually. So Vajrayan teaches from Mahashunya, the Bij mantras are created and they take the form of each deity. I mean, if that is not Shakta Tantra, then what is? Of course, she is Bhairavi. She is Bhairavi. Linga Bhairavi is a way to call Bhairavi. She's Bhairavi. Hi Justin. Thank you for being a member. Means so much to me. I'm sorry I cannot take out member-only exclusive content, but I'm so happy to see members. Thank you guys. I make no money from YouTube, so if you guys are members, at least I can get paid like $100 in a few months. So please, thank you. Keep up the support, and and do inspire me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Big shout out to all my members. Thank you for sticking with me, and thank you for being a part of my spiritual journey. So, from Mahashunya comes Bij, from Bij comes deity. It's the same, very same thing we learn in Shakta Tantra. It's a very, very same thing that we learn. So, there's literally no difference. 84 siddhas are there. You know, 84 siddha ki kahani. There's a book, 84 siddha ki kahani. Very nice book on all the siddhas of Vajrayana system and their stories. Very interesting book. Now, Maitreya Nath established Vajrayana in the 3rd century. 3rd century. Maitreya Nath. And Nath, when you hear Nath, they are all from the Nath Sampradaya. So, you know, all the Nathis are considered sants. And of course, Gorakhnath and Matsyendranath are worshipped by the Buddhist pantheon. So, Vajrayana was established in the 3rd century. So, it's a relatively newer interpretation of this ancient goddess wisdom that has permeated through the very soil of Bengal and Orissa and Assam, and has traveled to different places. And it has been as old as time. Alright, the tantric system has been as old as time. So, Vajrayana was just started by Maitreya Nath in the 3rd century. Kamakhya, Srihatta were their nexus. Most Vajrayana Buddhists at the time, the Sanghis, they would come to Kamakhya. Nowadays, it's not as frequent as it was before. You don't get to see that many Vajrayana Sanghis in Kamakhya. It's mostly taken over by Shaktas. Mostly people pretending to be tantrics and aghoras, and I saw some really, really intimate aghor rituals being displayed live from Kamakhya. I was astounded, absolutely. You never show all that on social media. Now, we Shaktas, we study the Agams and the Yamalas, right? The Buddhists, they classify themselves as the Vajrayana, Sahajayan and Kalachakrayan. And I'm going to some point, talk about these systems also. Sahajayan. Sahaj means easy. So Sahajayan. In fact, a lot of Sahaj Tantra, they don't do fasting, they don't do mantras. They have spontaneous connections that they establish. And Kashmir Shaivism, a lot of people who have studied Kashmir Shaivism understand Sahajayan very well. Alright, Vajrayana is a full like a Shakta Tantra, same to same. And Kalachakrayan is also very similar to our Chakra Pujas. It's in fact, I would say identical, just more sterile, just more masculine. Okay, if I may even say that without offending anyone. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm just trying to bring forth the true knowledge of the goddess as has been imparted to my ancestors, as epigenetically the information that I have received from my ancestors. Being a family that that has very, very deep priesthood, tantric priesthood roots. We were the first Shaivites of the goddess Kali in Calcutta. So we have a very close relationship with the goddess, and epigenetically I am connected very, very close to the original
way that Shakta Tantra was taught. Thereby the Yoginis, the goddess in all her forms. That's all I think of, that's all I do, that's all I write about, that's the videos that I make. So there. Without offending anyone, all I'm saying is I have made many Dakshina Kali videos. ভুলো না দক্ষিণা কালী বদ্ধ হয়ে মায়া জালে. Very nice song. Yeah, Shama Shongit, I'm going to come and discuss a lot about the goddess as seen in Shama Shongit. In the Buddhist text, yeah, Sadhan Mala, we find dhyanas of Mahasaraswati and Vajraveena Saraswati and Vajra Sharada and Arya Saraswati. I told you Saraswati and Neel Saraswati and Tara are the one and the same. From there they have Saraswati archetype. We've got Neel Saraswati and Tara and Matangi are the very same. You won't believe that Japan worships a goddess called Chanasti or Kotashri or Chanashti. Alright, maybe Chanashti is not the way. Chanashti, maybe that's how they pronounce it, but they have a very old. Hello! Hi! My baby has come. Hi. No, come here. I'll show you guys when he comes. So, hey. So, Chanashti, as I was saying, right? The root of Chanashti and Chandi are both from Cha. Alright, and belong to the same archetypal grouping. So, Chanashti in Japan, the goddess Chanashti in Japan and goddess Chandi are one and the same. Alright, all archetypes of Mahasaraswati. Now the thing with Chanashti, she was worshipped with Buddha Avalokiteshvara. Alright, she was worshipped with Buddha Avalokiteshvara. Now there's a goddess, the Buddhists have a goddess called Marichi. She's a 10-armed goddess like Durga. She also has a 2-armed, 4-armed and 12-armed versions. Tibetan lamas worship her as Usha. Usha is Devi Parvati's name. Usha. Actually, my great grandmother's name was Ushangini. Ushangini is interesting to say Usha and then her name just popped up. Now they also have an Abhaya Devi who many consider to be Durga, and Buddhists worship Aparajita Devi. She's 8-armed and yellow. So she's none other than Bagalamukhi. 8-armed and yellow. Alright, now we come to Shaktivad in Jainism. So we spoke about the Buddhism, now we spoke about Rig Veda, the Vedic understanding of the goddess, and how Chandi is Ved Mula. She's the root of all the Vedas. She emanated as maiden mother crone in a tripartite form as Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda. Alright, and this tripartite goddess is none other than Chandi, Ved Mula Chandi. Now, Shaktivad is very prevalent in Jainism. In Rajputana, on Abu Mountains, there is a famous Jain temple. Now, on the top, 16 Devis are carved. 16 Devis. In Kathiawad, on Girnar Mountains, there was a Saraswati Murti carved out of a slab stone, a black slab, what we call Koshti Pathor in Bengali.
The Murti of Saraswati can be found in many Jain temples. I have been to Jain temples, as I have been to Buddhist monasteries. All Vajrayan, Sikkim, Darjeeling, you name it, I have been there. Nepal, I have a very close connection because my Param Guru was in Nepal. He was the Guru of the royal family. So I have had the pleasure to go to Nepal and do sadhana at his asan, which is in the smashan of Pashupatinath. It's my little tiger. Durga has a tiger. Also have my tiger. Also have my tiger. Jam to get on my tiger. God, so cute. So cute. I always see him and I'm like, oh, look at him. He's a cancer survivor and he is 13 years old, 14 years old. Yeah. I have many billies, not only two. Okay, I hope the sound is okay because, no, don't get to move my mic. No. So naughty. I wish he'd just sit here and, he would just sit here. Then you guys can see him. Yes. Hey, can you sit there? I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. After hearing about your story, I cried that day. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I've lost a lot of billies also. They are Rahu. Billies are Rahu energy. And dogs are Ketu energy. He's biting me. He's biting me. Now I'm going to put him here and I'm going to put him to sleep. Like a little baby touchies. And he does no more. When I do my puja and my prayers, nobody's allowed but him. He comes and he does. Namo. Alright. No, you cannot. Now he's trying to play with my notes. No. So, yeah. Shaktivad in Jainism. I hope you can hear me. Yes, all right. So, as I said, that in their temples you can see many Saraswati idols. Okay, many of them. They consider Ma Saraswati to be Shashan Devi. Okay, that means goddess of justice. Right? And she's also considered to be the goddess of arts, knowledge and wisdom, just like our Saraswati. So Shaktivad, whether you talk about these religions that emanated from Bharat, alright, you talk about Sanatan Dharma is the mother of all. Where you talk about Jainism, you talk about Buddhism, you talk about Sikhism, is the mother of them all, is Sanatan Dharma. So that's why you see so many similarities. It is the same. It's one and the same. So, my mission is to bring to you the unadulterated, ancient Shakta worship of the Devi. I don't know why she's given me this mission. It's something she wants me to do. In 10 lifetimes, I never considered myself, oh no, look what my kitten is doing. Stop. Okay. No. Stop it. Ugh. No, now he's playing with my tripod. Okay. So, let's get back. In Jain text, Ratna Sagar, the Dhyan mantra given called Saraswati, Vishwarupini. Ma Saraswati is Vishwarupini. Vishwa, all reality. She is of the form of all the cosmos, of the multiverses. Vishwa Rupini. This is what the Jains consider Ma Saraswati. Around the 12th century, Jain tantrics wrote many stotras, composed many mantras. No, I give them packed food. and Ashtak, and wrote and composed many mantras and wrote many Ashtakas in her name. And they gave her many, many names. Alright, the Jains. Bharati, Sharada, Bhageshwari, Brahmani, Brahmavadini, Bratacharini, etc. They basically gave 16 names. Now, I'm not going to tell you all 16, but can you see the similarities? These are the very same archetypes that we work with in our system. It's not very different. Now we have spoken about Sanatan, which is the base, then we come to Vajrayan. I didn't want to talk about Mahayana and all that because they are not really, of importance here. That's why we spoke about Sahajayan, Vajrayan and Kala Chakrayan. And we spoke about the Jains and their understanding of the goddess, Shaktivad. And now we are going to talk about the Sikhs. Right, and there's a huge conspiracy happening right now with the Khalistani separatists, and like Justin Trudeau from Canada, he went ahead and said that India is responsible for the assassination of a Khalistani. So a lot of chaos is going on. But let me tell you, Guru Govind Singh in Dasham Badshah Ki Granth has mentioned Shri Chandi. So the Sikhs also worship Shri Chandi, whether they know it or they don't know it. Alright, the 4th chapter of this particular Granth, Dasham Badshah Ki Granth, the 4th chapter is heavily reminiscent of Markandeya Puran. The famous Asuras, Madhu, Kaitab, Chanda, Munda, Rakta, Bij are all mentioned. So you see, like Sanatan being the root, and from it comes out all the other kind of like the branches. Yes. So they are like they all the other branches. So the text I told you, written by none other than Guru Govind Sahib himself, Dasham Badshah Ki Granth, 4th chapter, heavily reminiscent of Markandeya Puran. So a lot of knowledge is lost, and there is a huge section of Sikh tantrics, who follow the same systems, and there's of course the Islamic tantrics also, and a lot of them were associated to Nath Sampradaya, Ismaili yogis they were called. In fact, Matsendra Nath, because he used to hang out with so many Muslims, and back in the day, and he was from a Brahmin family. Back in the days, they wouldn't eat with Muslims or any other person who was not of their caste. But Matsendra Nath ate with everybody, drank from the same khappad, he didn't care. So that's why a lot of people called him Ismaili yogi, because they didn't think he was a Hindu Brahmin. They thought he was a Muslim man. So there are a lot of people consider him to be the Ismaili yogi. And if you have done Shabad sadhana, then you know that Ismaili yogi is a name that pops up a lot. That is none other than Dada Guru Matsendra Nath, who is known as Ismaili yogi because of his unconventional and iconoclastic habits of eating with the Ismaili yogis, and eating from the same plate or drinking. So that's why. But in the Shabad mantras, the Ismaili yogi that is mentioned is none other than Matsendra Nath himself. So a lot of videos coming up on the Dada Guru Matsendra Nath and the Yoginis, and of course a book is coming out on the Yoginis. So if you are interested to know more, then text me. Now we've done this. All right. In Mahabharata, right, we find special importance of Devi Upasana in Mahabharata. In Bhishma Parva, 23rd Adhyay, Sri Krishna asks Arjun to do Devi Pujan, to do Devi Durga's Pujan so that they can win the war. Alright? Arjuna does stotra to her and calls her Saraswati. Before Agyatavas was that they had to go away to Vanvas for 14 years, and then 1 year they had to stay in Agyatavas, which means that they had to stay in disguise. So the Pandavas, the Pancha Pandavas, in case you are wondering who I was talking about, so the Pancha Pandavas, they had to stay in Agyatavas for 1 year, and they could not be discovered. If they were discovered, then the whole Vanvas would be null and void. So, I mean, it was complicated, right? I mean, imagine one woman with 5 husbands. How do you do a Gyatvaas, and how do you not get caught? I mean, very complicated stuff, right? So, the Pandavas did Durga stuff for Abhishta sadhana here, because it was kind of like an impossible scenario with Draupadi herself, such a glorious beauty. I mean, how do you hide such a beautiful face? How do you hide the greatest warrior in the world, Arjuna? I mean, these are not easy things to do, right? So that's why it was kind of complicated for the whole thing. So they did Durga stuff there. Now she's known by many names in Mahabharata. Kumari, Kali, Kapali, Mahakali, Chandi, Gantarvasini. These are various stages of her growth and manifestation. They are not different goddesses. Please understand that when we talk about Lakshmi, Saraswati, they are not different goddesses. Or when we speak about Vaishno Devi, do you know Vaishno Devi is a culmination of Mahasaraswati, Mahalakshmi and Mahakali. Chalo bulawa aaya hai, Mata ne bulaya hai, Vaishno Devi. So Vaishno Devi is an amalgamation again of the maiden, the mother, the crone. So it's very interesting, and that's why Vaishno Devi, going through that journey to Vaishno Devi, it's absolutely exhilarating. I mean, honestly, wow, very nice. I wish I could go now, but I had gone with my dadu and my grandfather and my grandmother, and when I was a child. But as Kumari, she is the maiden worshipped by the inhabitants of Vindhyachal Parvat. Yeah, very awesome. Vindhyachal Parvat, and then she is Shivangini or Uma. So she holds again Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh energies play out. When it is the maiden Swarupa, say Bala Tripura Sundari, she is Brahma Tej. She is the energy of Brahma. When we talk about the mother stage, then she is Mahalakshmi, and then she is Vishnu, because the mother sustains, Brahma births, mother sustains, and the crone stage is she is Mahashiv, Mahasaraswati. Yeah, Mahasaraswati. All right. So at the crone stage, she is Uma Parvati. Other names: Mahishashura Mardini, of course Mahishashura Nashani, Vindyavasini, Madamamsa Priye. This is very interesting. We are again referring to Mahachinachar Panchamakara. So her name is Madamamsa Priye. But all, of course, mother means intoxicants. We are not talking about real intoxicants, although in the Veera system they do use all the real Panchamakar. But Samayacharis, they tend to consider the mud or alcohol to be the drop from the Sahasrar. They consider mamsa or meat to be the swallowing of one's own tongue through Khichdi Mudra. The Matsya, the fish, is pranayam, mastering the prana and apan vayu. So there are hidden meanings to all of this, alright? And Madamamsa Priye. Sri Chandi is the same as Devi Mahatmaya. And this Devi Mahatmaya is a part of
Markandeya Puran that I was just telling you right now. The name Chamunda, and I've made a separate video on goddess Chamunda, have a look, is not found in Mahabharata. In the text Malti Madhav, written by Bhavabhuti, it is mentioned that Chamunda Ma is worshipped with Noroboli. Noroboli means the sacrifice of humans. Now there's also very interesting story with regards to this, the sacrifice of humans. I again dropped my mic. I don't know where my clip is. It's so stupid. Okay, so this is an interesting song, Shama Shongi, that I'm reminded of. পাতালেতে ছিলে মাগো হয়ে ভদ্রকালী কত দেবতা করেছে পূজা দিয়ে নরবলি. And Noroboli is human sacrifice. So Noroboli, like when we offer animal sacrifice, the depiction is that we are sacrificing our lower self. Same when Devatas would offer Noroboli or human sacrifice, it was actually Devatas in the beginning. It is not that a human will perform a human sacrifice and will get energy. All that is seen in Hollywood satanic movies. But in reality of Noroboli was not a human sacrificing another human. All this is distorted teachings. Only gods could sacrifice humans. Gods like Indra, Varuna, and don't forget they're all powered by Ma herself. So this, is very interesting to understand that the Noroboli or human sacrifice is not given by another human, and you kill another human being in a lunar eclipse and boom, you get his key in you and you're like, oh, and you're like, freaking Frankenstein. No. Only a Devata can give Noroboli and get benefits, like, spiritual benefits. So therefore, Upadevatas, they're not always good to call, not always good to worship. That's why nobody worships Indra. Nobody also worships Brahma, but that's because of the curse. But Upadevata worship can be tricky and has to be done under guidance. That's why Yogini is also Upadevatas. You cannot just jump into Yogini sadhana. You need to go through, familiarizing yourself with the Yogini archetype, and that's why I launched my WhatsApp course actually. That to get you familiar with the Yoginis, because Upadevatas are never to be worshipped without proper initiation. A lot of bad stuff can happen. Alright? Now, many of you may have heard, they are all the same. They are all the same. Although they are, Tripura Sundari is the mother, Tripura Bhairavi is the crone. Tripura Bhairavi is Hastrain, Hasaklarin, Hastrao. You see how, yes, I actually do have a WhatsApp group, +91 7030258060. Again, I'll repeat, +91 India code 7030258060. So you can send me a text and I'll add you to the group. Alright? Now, what was I talking? I completely forgot. I was saying something, I totally forgot. I was saying something important. Hello. I was saying something important. Okay. Okay, anyway, let's carry on. That many, Hastrain, Hasaklari, Hastrao, Tashi Ashwin, very good. Listen to Bhairavi's speech. Hastrain or Hasrain, Hasrain, Hastrain, Hasaklarin, Hastrao. So you see how Tripura Sundari, Kayei la rain, Hasaka la rain, Saka la rain. train. So you see how the Sodashi mantra is so different to Tripura Bhairavi. Hastraim, Hasklarim, Hastrau. So you can immediately understand that she is a sustainer just by even Aim claim Saul, Saul claim I claim Saul. See, sustain and solve. This is known as Brahma Visharga. So, it's known as Brahma's orgasm, actually. This so. But when you say hastro, the whole energy changes. That's what beach is such a science. You know, beach science is the ultimate science. That's why even just playing and learning with beach mantras is stupendous. So Bhairavi, Tripura Bhairavi is the crone. Tripura Bhairavi is the crone. Tripura Sundari is the mother. Bala Tripura Sundari is the maiden, the tripartite goddess. Alright, as I was saying, that this is the prototype of the Wiccan tripartite goddess of the mother, of the maiden, the mother, and the crone. The Srividya system. Bala Tripura Sundari. Maha Tripura Sundari. Maha Tripura Bhairavi, the crone. So, Bhairavi is the crone. But yeah, they're all the same energy. They are one energy. So, that's how you have to always look at Shakti sadhana. There's no segregation, there's no differentiation. All right. Now, many of you have heard of Ram and Ravan, right? And Ramayana. Now, many of you may know that, okay, Ram and Ravan were great Devi Bhakts. Yeah, I have many mantras, sweetie. I have thousands. Yeah, I have like some 3,000 videos. Now, I've lost a lot of videos also. I don't know where they have gone, huh? And this has happened to me before, but I don't want to, bring all that up right now and start a huge conversation about that. But let's jump to this almost in 2 hours. I mean, I have to cut it short now. So let's skip to the ending now. Many have heard, right, that Ram Ravan were both Shaktas. But interestingly, this is not what Valmiki had written in his Ramayana. But in the Bengali version, right, in the Bengali version of Krittivas, this is where we learn that Ram, Ravan, his son, Lakshman, all of them, Ravan's son, and Lakshman, they were all Shaktas. And this we don't learn from Valmiki. We learn this from Krittivas's Bengali version. Now, do you know that Ravan actually was a great devotee of Parashakti, and he was like, very well learned in the ways of Tantra, and I told you Shiva himself gave him Tantra. So he of course misused it and all that. So Devi was a bit rushed with him. But Ramchandra, when he took the sankalpam that I'm going to do the puja of Devi, and I am going to offer her 108 lotuses. Now Devi herself, to test his mettle, as to say, took one lotus away and hid it. So when he was giving the ahutis, the offerings, right, and you can't stop there and go out and start looking for another lotus. It is not done. You gather your samagri together, and once you've done your iti dik bandaha, you do not get up. You finish your job, you finish your ahutis, and then you get up. So obviously now Ram was like, he was in a fix. He didn't know what to do. So he decided that he is going to sacrifice one of his eyes, because he was also known as Padma Lochan. So his eyes were so beautiful that people gave him the name of Padma Lochan. Like, wow, your eyes are like lotus. So he basically, when he couldn't find that one Padma,
he took his dhanush and he was going to pierce his eye. Now, I've mentioned this before that Ramchandra is an aghor. Actually, he was an augur. He was initiated in the path of augur. You don't see anybody just, doing something like that. Who can perform such a sacrifice? That, okay, I'm going to take out one eye and offer it to the Devi because it looks like Padma. Only an augur can do this. So Ramchandra was initiated in the path of augur. So yes, but that's because they were augurs. So Ramchandra is an augur himself. You know what I mean? This is what I mean, that people don't understand this, but Ramchandra was an augur tantric. Totally. Otherwise, you can't think of something like that. Okay? So, this sacrifice, this total surrender to Parashakti is what won her over. And she kind of like abandoned Ravan at that point because Ravan was already misusing his Shakti. She wouldn't abandon Ravan if he hadn't abused the Shakti. And she then blessed Ram that you will win the war and you will bring your wife back home. Sri Chandi emphasizes Devi Puja during Saratkal. Okay, Sharodiya Puja, what we call in Bengali. But Ramachandra's Puja was not Sharodiya, Chaitra Navratri. Chandi is none other than Satchidananda Mahamaya Parashakti, and she takes various forms to come and play with us, to fine-tune our existence, to help us hack our existence. She is Brahma Swarupini, she is Brahma Rupini, she is Shri Chandi. Two variants of Navarna mantra I'll teach. One is simple Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaya Viche. Om Aim Rim, the proper way to do jap, what mudra to hold while doing jap, how to spin. Exactly, that's stupid. No intelligent person will give animal bali because the animal is actually a symbol. It's because humans in their ego think, oh, the animal is inferior to me. So, must have lower propensities because they eat, breed shit. But they live in the moment. They're kind of zen, something we are not. So we are no one to decide that, we are superior to the animals, so we're going to sacrifice them. So then we become food for the devas. The Upadevatas who want to sacrifice us because, who cares? Sacrifice a few humans. Who cares? So this is something we need to understand. Sacrifice your ego. If you want to sacrifice something so badly, sacrifice your lust, sacrifice your stupidity, sacrifice your ignorance, right? You don't need to sacrifice a poor animal. It pains me to think that people can even be so tamasic. But then, as I said, that different people have different gunas in them, right? Some people are sattvic. I am sattvic. Some people are rajasic. Some people are tamasic. Tamasic people think that, okay, maybe sacrificing an animal is a quick way to get the woman I love, or, to get my property that I want to steal from someone. I mean, these people are just stuck in their own little, they're like horses with blinkers. No matter what, they cannot see the whole vista. They cannot see the beauty, the bounteous, the abundant nature. They're just stupid. And they're going to be caught in the samsaric web, professing their stupid little games and their stupid little ideologies. But exactly, no, nothing like that. Samayacharis don't even do literal puja. Puja is all done in the manas, but that is only for Daivya Guna people. People who have more divine propensity. The animalistic person is given Dakshinachar. The Veeras are given Veerachar. The Daivya Bhava people are given Samayachar. In Samayachar, you don't need to do anything but sit in your asana and hold dharana, mantra dharana in your mind. Everything, all the landscapes are created in the mind. So, you don't need to do Mahavidya. I am a vegan since I was 15 and now I'm in my 40s. So I have not touched anything, harmed anything, or even if there's an ant in front of me, I consider that to be a manifestation of my goddess, and I step aside. If I could give my life, so the other animals would be okay, and nobody would, sacrifice them because they want to do Mahavidya Upasana, I would gladly sacrifice myself. But there will always be people in the world who will think like, oh, we can't do certain things without harming another person. How does that even come into your mind? No, you cannot. You cannot. If you want to harm someone, if you want to hurt someone, if you think you are going to in any way benefit from someone's pain and suffering and tears and sadness, then you are wrong. Tantra is done for Sarva Mangalam, for the welfare of everyone in the samsara, not for just you and me or humans. This is ego constructs. Like I said, that they are doing animal sacrifice on YouTube now in tantrics and kamakya, killing bulls, taking birds, dipping them in ghee and throwing them in the fire while the birds are screaming in agony. If you think you are going to be a Siddha Purush by doing that, oh my God, you have so many birds to come back to, so many things to learn and do. You are so sad and you're so mistaken. You cannot harm a person. Believe me, if I could sacrifice myself for the betterment of all animals, I would without a thought. But no, go to hell. Your rituals that claim the lives of innocent are no rituals. And I will say that. Let anybody come and talk to me. What Mahavidya, what ritual you can't do? I'm a Samayachari, I'm a Divya Bhav. I don't even need to do Panchamakara. I don't eat meat, I don't touch alcohol. I'm a teetotaler. I have not touched alcohol in my life. Exactly. Why? Because it makes for a good show. Here I am sitting and talking to you about, be vegan, be kind, be compassionate. Who cares? Like, I'll have 9 members on my channel. 9 people who are members. Right? But I get an animal, I sacrifice, I get my kapal out, I start to do all kinds of samadhi, and then boom. Everybody's interested because everybody wants a show. That's why they sacrifice animals. That's why they want to do that. So anybody who says that is an important, exactly, how can they do that? Cut your own ego, man. That, exactly. Don't take anybody's life, man. The day you can bring back that creature's life that you take, that day you can bring it. That day you're the alchemist. Not before. I know I can't. I don't have Sanjeevani Vidya. If you have Sanjeevani Vidya, you do it. They are. And they are connecting with lower Pashu Vritti people. Chinnamasta Ma opened her own head, cut off, severed, and just took off her own head to feed Jaya Vijaya. I mean, tell me. Totally. Abrahamic religions, this is what they want. Ma is Ma. We call her Ma. She's a mother.
You try to come, and she's not just my mother or your mother. I'm some tantric. Oh, my ancestors were her priests. So, she's my ma. Nothing like that. She's the mother of Osama bin Laden. She's the mother of Putin. She's the mother of Zelensky. She's the mother of Modi. She's the mother of Rahul Gandhi. She's the mother of everybody. So how will she be okay if, and she's the mother of a chicken that you're going to cut up for your ritual. She's the mother of the bull that you're taking to sacrifice. She's the mother of them all. What do you think? She's happy that you're doing this? Huh? That you are killing? Totally. I don't understand how people just these things to themselves. How do people justify this to their own conscience? I could not justify stepping on an ant, and that's my level of commitment to her creation. If there is an ant going, I will move around it, or I will pick it up and put it on the wall or somewhere outside. If there's a spider, I will call my daughter, picks up spiders actually, picks up lizards. If I'm scared, if there's a bug in the house, I will call my daughter and she'll put it out. 2 bats came to my house the other day, 2 bats. They started going nuts in my drawing room. The chandelier is there and everything. My puja, they didn't touch my puja place. They were going mad, running helter-skelter, 2 bats out of the blue. My husband saying everything is closed. How did they come? How are they here? I don't know. Nobody knows. But 2 bats just showed up out of the blue. My daughter came, grabbed them. Yeah, I know. They kill kabutar also in Kamakhya. Well, like in the name of, oh, let me get married. 5 kabutars, pigeons. Kabutars are pigeons, by the way. Chamkadar, they'll also kill. Yeah. Bali is not for the mother. Sharab is also not for the mother. During Kali Puja or during the Navratri, when we do puja, we offer alcohol. Alcohol is not for mother. Alcohol is for all the ganas and the bhoot, the jinns, the pret, the vetal. With Bhairo Baba, you have to give alcohol. Bhairo Baba, though Bhairo Baba is an alchemist, so Bhairav Baba can take that alcohol and make it soma, but also that, no, yes, Savari does come. Savari does come, but I have seen YouTube channels with, women just flinging the hair. I can open my hair and start flinging over here. I mean, I have 13 people watching, maybe there'll be 300 people watching if I just start flinging my body and start flinging my hair and keeping my mouth shut. Who wants to hear a woman talk, right? My job is to look pretty and entertain you, right? So I mean, why am I even talking? So there's that side of it. It calls for a good show. Like I said, a lot of these tantrics, what they're doing now is show. And then let's not even go to the sex part of it, because your gurus are having sex with their shishya's wives, saying this is the path to salvation, that I'm going to do yoni puja on your wife. Arey, what the hell? So your business will run properly. In the Kumbh Mela, one of my students is telling me that I'm going to he met a tantric who told him that he has to go have sex with a 9-year-old girl, and supposedly that is Kumari Puja. And what I do, Pancha Puja with Kumaris, is not Kumari Puja. I had nothing. Yeah, I had nothing to say. I'm like, there are laws against this, you know that? It's called pedophilia. You are freaking predator, and that Baba or whatever is a bloody predator, and he deserves to be behind bars. That's what he deserves to be. Not going around. I've seen this in so many uneducated people, that the wife having sex with the Guruji, and it's sick. Or the gurus, if gurus having sex with shishyas, say, oh, this is the path to Kundalini awakening. I mean, really, it's sad. but sawaris are real, and I get sawaris, but I have never ever filmed a sawari. My husband is, he has also told me that when you get sawari, I will film you if you want. But I've said no, you will not film me, because your sawaris are very personal, and I have sawaris especially when you're channeling in and getting information about someone's aura, about someone's energy field. Then the savari comes and Ma tells me what it is or what to do. But that is not a moment for me to even show the client for whom the work is being done. That's a very private side. Sawaris are very private. They are not to be filmed like that. But I don't know, it seems to be a big trend on YouTube, with women just opening their hair and flinging their hair and saying, ha, Mata ki Savari, Mata ki Savari. Got a backdrop of Ma Kali, cheaply printed, and the whole place looks tawdry. I mean, I don't know really. There's a lot of disinformation, like I said, and it is Ghor Kali Yuga. So to find a person, and I was very lucky, um, and I wish that you guys have the same kind of luck too. So it's now 2 hours and 15 minutes. Oh my god. It's Ghor Kali Yuga, totally. And I guess people will wake up to the real teachings, because if Ma has chosen me to be her mouthpiece, then she must have a purpose. And at least even if a few people understand what Tantra Shastra is, what it is not, then yeah, okay, I know I've done my job. I know I'm okay, I'm happy. So that's it. So book your Chandi workshops. La la la. Yes, 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 yes. Yuck. Okay, bye guys. See you. If you want to join my group, +917030258060, and text me if you want to book my workshops, or if you want a puja of mine, or if you want a puja for Cheshta Ganapati, or if you want that's my Cheshta Ganapati right there. Bye bye. Take care. Namaste.